In the vast, impersonal theater of war, where history is written by fleets and armies, the smallest comforts can become the most powerful anchors to humanity. For ages, sailors have shared their confined quarters with a special kind of shipmate. The ship's cat, part pest control, part moral officer. These animals were silent witnesses to history. Today, on Beastly Bravery, we uncover the definitive history of one such feline, a cat whose legend, preserved in a single faded photograph, is remarkable. But the truth behind that legend is even more so. This is the story of Princess Papool, better known as Pooli, a veteran of the United States Navy and a cat who truly earned her battle stars. Pooli's story begins with a symbolism so potent it feels scripted by fate itself. She was born on the 4th of July, 1944, American Independence Day. Her birthplace, the U.S. Naval Base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The very site whose bombing had plunged the nation into war. Born amidst the nerve center of the Pacific War, a tiny, script tabby kitten, as she was described, a living emblem of American resilience. Shortly after, she was brought aboard the USS Fremont, a Bravery-class attack transport by a crewman named James L. Lynch. This 492-foot vessel, a floating, self-contained invasion force, armed with 5-inch guns and anti-aircraft cannons, was designed for the brutal island-hopping campaigns of the Pacific. And for this little cat, it was now home. Her reaction to the horrors of naval combat became a cherished piece of ship lore. Whenever the alarm for general quarters sounded, signaling imminent battle, Pooli would instinctively race to the one place that represented a link to another world, the mail room. She would find a canvas mail sack and curl up inside, a small creature seeking sanctuary in a space that was, for the sailors, a vessel's very heart, a psychological anchor to home, filled with the scent of paper and ink from wives, mothers, and sweethearts. In this, she was not a warrior, but a mirror, reflecting the crew's own deep longing for safety and peace. But this aversion to gunnery did not mean she was timid. On shore leave, she was reportedly a formidable brawler, never losing a fight with local dogs or cats. And aboard the ship, she was a true shipmate. When the Fremont crossed the equator, Pooli became a shellback, a formal, if unofficial, acceptance into the naval fraternity. She faced the same dangers as the crew, even the unseen ones. Like them, she lived surrounded by the vast quantities of asbestos used to insulate the ship, a latent threat shared by all. The greatest threat to Pooli's life, however, came not from an enemy shell, but from her own side. As the war ended and the Fremont steamed towards San Francisco on Operation Magic Carpet, a wave of anxiety spread amongst some sailors. They feared the entire vessel would be placed under a lengthy quarantine because of an unauthorized animal on board. The talk turned drastic. To avoid the complication, a few conspired to throw Pooli overboard. It was the only time she came close to becoming what her owner later called a wartime casualty. But the sailors who loved her would not allow it. What happened next is perhaps the truest measure of their importance in an extraordinary display of fierce loyalty. Her supporters organized around the clock guard, a formal military procedure, not for an officer, not for equipment, but for a cat. For 3 full days, as the ship neared port, crewmen stood watch to protect their beloved mascot. This was their finest hour, a moment of beastly bravery for their beast. They repaid her quiet, comforting presence with a heroic act of their own. The ship docked without incident. Pooli was safe. The iconic image of Pooli shows her in a custom-made uniform, decorated with 3 service ribbons and 4 battle stars. It's easy to dismiss this as a cute, affectionate gesture, but a closer investigation reveals something far more profound. This was not a random tribute. It was a meticulously kept, historically precise service record. The United States, unlike Great Britain, with its prestigious sticking medal, had no formal system for decorating animals during World War II. Pooli's honors were a bottom-up recognition from the men who knew her best. The ship, the USS Fremont, was officially awarded 5 battle stars for its service. Yet, Pooli's uniform consistently shows only 4. Why? The answer lies in her birthday. The Fremont earned its first star for the assault on Saipan in June 1944. Pooli, born on July 4th, was not yet aboard. The crew knew this, and so, with remarkable precision, they did not award her the star. Her 4 stars correspond perfectly to the 4 major campaigns she did witness. The invasion of the Palau Islands, her first taste of combat operations. The landings at Leyte Gulf in the Philippines, where the Fremont was hit by an enemy shell. The invasion of Luzon in January 1945. And finally, the brutal battle for Iwo Jima, where the Fremont landed Marines and evacuated casualties. 4 campaigns, 4 stars. This was not a game. This was respect. The 3 service ribbons on her uniform almost certainly represented the awards the crew themselves were eligible for. Likely the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, the World War II Victory Medal, and the Philippine Liberation Ribbon. They saw her as a veteran who had endured what they had endured. After the war, Pooli retired to a peaceful life in Los Angeles. On her 15th birthday in 1959, the Los Angeles Times published a photo that would cement her legend, showing a dignified veteran, deaf with a few teeth remaining, but still able to fit into her old uniform. After this moment in the spotlight, her trail goes cold. Despite extensive searches, no obituary or death record for her or her owners could be located. Her final years and resting place remain unknown. And perhaps this is a fittingly quiet conclusion for a creature whose great contribution was not the clamor of battle, but the quiet comfort she offered in a mare sack, a silent anchor to the idea of home in the middle of the vast, violent Pacific Ocean. Pooli's story reminds us that heroism isn't always found in the heat of the fight. Sometimes it is found in a steady, comforting presence that makes the fight bearable. She was a shipmate, a veteran, and a symbol of the enduring, humanizing power of the bond we share with animals. If you were moved by this tale of quiet courage, subscribe for more beastly bravery. What other unlikely animal heroes should we feature? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.